That wretch Goliath would murder us all. Mark my words.
It's as if a storm went through here.
Destruction and trampled ground.
He was certainly under pressure.
Oof, a contortionist you were not. Disjointed vertebrae. Difficult to say if it was a way to start or finish him off. A missing pinky. Middle-aged. It's none other than Theodore Gilded. A belt from a dressing gown. Curious. A kneecap reduced to splinters.
Oh boy, Sherlock. Another death means another question.
And we shall answer the question. It's far too interesting to give it up to the police. A strong pull broke this leash. A pool of blood and saliva, possibly as a result of impact.
Poke the elephant with this? Really? People are hopeless. Sherlock, take a picture of the footprint. It's valuable evidence. This photograph can help us find the old article about the elephants. The front page was fascinating. It was hard to believe as a child.
True. We may need it in our investigation. A royal suite for a favorite pet.
Plenty of food to satisfy even the most fastidious.
Stop the presses. Who is Cordona's handsome stranger? Or nosebagger spurns local life? Wait, no. Foppish foreigner hides dark past. Oh, you've made quite the impression already, Mr. Holmes. You care to tell your side of the story?
I'm quite certain I have no idea as to what you refer, and I am further certain I have no interest in indulging your gossip.
Gossip? The truth will come out, but will only be heard if told well. Scandal, daring-do, romance. These are the tools of every good journalist. Nothing travels faster or lasts longer than a great story. Young man, your tale will be told with or without you. My readers demand it.
You already knew my name and seem aware of my doings here in Cordona. I presume this newspaper is your little endeavor?
Yasmin Sertel, editor-in-chief of the Cordona Chronicle. Advocate of the free press, voice of the people, scourge of the silk stocking.
Charmed, I'm sure. As an advocate of the free press, I trust you'll permit me to consult your archives? There are gaps in my knowledge of Cordona.
Oh, so my work does have merit. Well, I think we can strike a bargain. I shall provide you access, and you let me keep writing about your exploits.
So be it.
Brooding bachelor builds bridges. Now that's character development.
I guess I owe you my gratitude.
What can I say? I've always enjoyed working with the Holmes. They whisper such interesting things.
That's the article. Feeling old already?
A coal gas tank. Enough to pump up an airship. A sailor's knife, useful for cutting wet and thick ropes. It's seen a lot of use. The blade is worn from grinding. Fresh signs of impact. A rough landing led to an altercation with this shed. Didn't we get to fly in it as children? I doubt it could hold my weight today. In a fit of rage, the elephant broke the chain and threw its victim on the ground with a fierce power. Escaping the scene, it pulled the body with it, but dropped it at the gate. At least some of this was witnessed by a third party who was hurled against the shed. The elephant can't have gone too far. I can still track it.
Well, suppose you find it. Then what? Push it all the way back to the manor?
Do you know anything about this?
That's a question I can answer.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Look who's here. Okay, hear me out. If an elephant falls in the forest and there's no one around to...
John, no.
Oh, you're such a killjoy.
Strange. It was hung with care. The game has escaped us for now. We'll find a solution to the elephant problem later.
You. Who are you?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. Theodore Gilded was...
Did you kill him? Did you kill the elephant?
It's not in the yard anymore. It escaped into the forest.
You can't let it go. What if it returns?
I highly doubt that, Miss.
Imogen Gilded. Please, I beg of you, find that dreadful beast that killed my father.
I suppose we do need to learn what happened. Can you tell me what happened? From the very start.
I was here, so I didn't see how it began. My father visits the enclosure every morning to wake up Goliath. Today, I heard the elephant scream. I've never heard such a horrifying sound. My heart stopped. I knew something was wrong. I looked through my window and saw how it lifted my father up by his neck. I rushed downstairs. I saw it dragging my father as if he were a doll. I threw stones at it. It dropped my father's body and charged outside, screaming. Its roar was almost human. I was frightened, so I ran inside and hid here.
Well, it was the most probable outcome, living with a giant wild animal such as that.
How can you be so cold? Goliath murdered my father, Mr. Holmes. He mustn't be allowed to get away with it.
Well, thank you for the information, Miss Gilded. I did have some questions for your father. Perhaps you might help me with them?
I wasn't privy to much of my father's life, and it's very hard to think of anything at all with Goliath still loose. Please, Mr. Holmes.
Very well. Do you mind if I ask you more questions if I find anything that might help?
Anything to catch that monster.
Had Goliath been aggressive before?
It's dangerous, but it was never aggressive near my father. My father would do anything for Goliath. All the elephant had to do was clap its ears.
You envied him, the elephant, I mean?
Our house is called the House of Ivory. I've heard some people refer to me as the Ivory Girl, and my room stinks of the animal, as if it's me who lives in a pen and not Goliath. It's not envy, Mr. Holmes. It's just incredibly difficult to live like this.
Did you observe anyone else in the yard? Any of your servants, perhaps?
Servants? Do you imagine that we would have any with Goliath? No one wishes to work in this house, even for double pay. I didn't see anyone else. Only my father and that diabolical beast.
Miss Gilded, I was on this island 10 years ago, and your father knew my mother. I believe I even had the opportunity to ride that balloon outside, but I do not recall seeing you.
I lived at my late mother's in Sheffield at the time. I'm in no spirit to reminisce right now. The elephant is out there.
You've never heard the name Violet Holmes before? Perhaps your father...
Please, Mr. Holmes. With that beast roaming free, I can't think of anything.
Very well. A commendable effort to barricade the windows. The nicest spot in the room. Mr. Gilded spent hours of his life right here.
Staring at an elephant's backside. What a wonderful life.
Quite the spectrum. From the history of the Roman Empire to conspiracy theories of the French Revolution. From before Mycroft was born, our family loves to prod at the past. Mother. It's nice to see her young and smiling.
Holmes's desire to rake up the past is hereditary.
A catchy title. What's so special about this place? Another elephant? A partnership annulled with a single stroke of a pen. I should take a photograph of the plans. I don't want to carry them around. His second child? An apparent son and heir, I'd say. A relatively functional choice to replace the finger. Oh, the pungent stench of an animal.
Did Theodore seek some pink elephants with this?
I think Miss Gilded has barely matured. I think they were closer than you and me, John.
I'm hurt.
I've nothing to say about this.
And, which part of the elephant is in here? It's quite pungent.
Oh, that. It's elephant sweat. Father believed that it might replace traditional ambergris.
Well, that's true entrepreneur spirit. A. Swift, is this name familiar to you? Your father had it removed from this plan.
Oh, that's Arthur Swift. I've seen him a couple of times here. He works with my father in the old city, digging up something ancient.
He is an archaeologist?
That's the word, yes. But to be truthful, I really don't think Mr. Swift is fit to be one. I've just learnt a lot about archaeology from my favourite book series. Oh, they are page-turners.
Inspirational, I'm sure, but would you happen to know where this Mr. Swift might be found?
I don't, but perhaps you can find out somewhere. My father's work with him is all official. Lots of boring legal papers with signatures and stuff. I can't think of anything else right now.
She packed as much as she could carry. False idols? Oh, sounds utterly dreary. The same dull poses on all romantic photographs. So idyllic. Enjoy your happily ever after before it stales.
Hey, Sherry, we need to talk. You found false idols. We need to find the remaining two.
What does bazooka even mean? Would this paper be good for anything but blowing one's nose on?
They're not rubbish, Sherry. There's something more. I'm serious.
Very well. I doubt it'll be worth it, but I will find them for you, John.
You'll thank me later. They're some of the most imaginative books I've ever read.
What did you say?
Speaking aloud helps me think. I found this. Who's this young lad next to you, your faithful knight?
Paul. He's my pirate. He's not really a pirate. I just call him that. It probably sounds very silly.
Your secret is safe in my hands. Does Paul work somewhere? What is his surname?
His name is Paul Perks. He and his yacht Whirlpool are the champions of the Salacia Yacht Club. He sails there. I'll show you where it is on the map if you need to meet him.
A yachting champion? Well, that will be a first. I prefer dry land. And so does my suit. These bags of yours, it looks as if you've packed your entire room. Were you planning on going somewhere?
My partner and I, we wanted a change, a fresh start abroad. But now I have to stay here. Here, an orphan.
How can you read something like this? It's hard to swallow, and that's not due to the hard cover.
You're hardly serious. Any library without Nabe and Laura is incomplete. If you can read, then these books are an absolute must. Love and adventure. They're about life.
Oh, I wasn't aware that exploding pyramids were a part of daily life on Cordona.
You haven't seen life, so you might try reading about it at least.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I'm so sorry. I can't help you, sir.
Help me, please.
Sorry, but I've never heard of it.
May I ask for your assistance?
Excuse me? What? I'm not sure I know.
Could you help me?
That's a question I can answer.
foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea.
It should have a warning to cover your ears.
Sails of hatred. I suppose there is something for everyone, including champions.
Who knew archaeology could be so exciting?
Exciting is certainly a word. The champion's whirlpool. Pools bread and butter. Foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea. Bloodied bandages. Has someone been hurt?
Where would a champion hide a key?
I hope Paul is more skilled at yachting than he is at hiding keys. To earn big, you have to spend big. Mr. Gilded wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty. Additional earnings to sweeten the victory. An interesting place for a message to a champion. Old betting slips. Paul always bets on Whirlpool. One victory after another. An expensive set of tools for woodwork. An amateur wouldn't know how to use these. A box full of darts. Each has a needle and can be loaded with drugs. Shipbuilding, shipwright's tricks, sail weaving. Bloodied bandages. A foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea. Undeniably psychotropes. Not for toothache, I think. Undeniably psychotropes. Not for toothache, I think. A typical tea tin. I wonder what he has for biscuits. A foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea.
Oi! Hands off my possessions before you lose your fingers. Are you illiterate? The rules are written everywhere.
Ah, Mr. Perks, the cabin boy himself.
Champion, you mean? I was right. You are illiterate. I think a couple of shiners might teach you. One last chance. Who are you?
I'm Sherlock Holmes, a friend of our mutual acquaintance, Miss Imogen.
Look, you artichoke. Imogen has no friends. Except for me.
If you must try to insult people, it's better to know the meanings of the words that you're using.
You fancy you could teach a sailor to swear? Go ahead. Show me how inventive you are.
Stand still for a moment. So, a woman wishes to become a real criminal, and smuggling is a stepping stone towards that? Is there not enough prestige in yachting? Or is it easier to compete with other fools like yourself? Everyone has a starting pistol, just shoot and run.
Don't say a word. I don't know where you're getting half of this nonsense, but you're on some thin ice here that I'm willing to crack.
Damn you, Paul. I'm sick of... Who's this peacock? Does he know who I am?
I definitely know who you are not. You're not a dictionary reader, at least. I wanted to see how you... pals interact with each other in your natural habitat. But I'm afraid I have to interfere.
I'm coming for you. I will end you.
No more crime for you until next month.
I thought, hey, you could have kept him alive. You can overcome the brute now.
I'm coming.
Don't cry, you'll live.
The snuff's ready.
I am invincible.
It won't work this way.
I couldn't miss the party.
He's all yours now. Go for it. Overcome him, don't...
I'm coming for you. I will end you.
Take a rest, my friend. Don't cry, you'll live.
Give him the pepper snuff.
How do you do?
I'm coming.
No more...
The snuff's ready.
Dodge this!
Terribly sorry. Don't cry, you'll live.
And there's no reward for risking our lives.
Paul's explanation will suffice. Your fellow mariners have a strange way of showing hospitality.
They were not my friends.
Are you sure? I would rather risk my neck for someone who's at least honest and thankful.
Perhaps then don't enter someone's life and be so judgmental, pretending you're better than they are.
Then give me your perspective and allow me to see through your eyes. I tried to tell you before, but your partners interrupted. Have you heard the news? Theodore Gilded is dead. Do you have anything to say?
Well, what a shock. To me, he was an angry old ogre. Good riddance. Was it Goliath that killed him? Did it crush him? Break his bones? Come on, tell me. I want all the details.
You have an unusual way of showing grief. Imogen wouldn't appreciate that. But yes, the animal could have been involved.
It's poetic in a way, isn't it? It takes a beast to kill a monster. I wish I could have been that elephant.
What were you doing this morning, Miss Perks?
Don't call me that. I'm a champion. I was sailing.
The other club members told me that you missed the race this morning. Do champions not need to practice?
Ugh, you've talked with them already. No, I wasn't racing. I visited the doctor after that attack on me. And then I had to honor the deal with the bandits you just took care of.
You're asking for trouble with this smuggling business. You'd better leave it before they smuggle you out in a barrel.
Don't patronize me. I've only ever had trouble with law-abiding citizens like Gilded and you, never bandits. So ask me anything you want, and then get out of my sight. I'm clueless. I don't know what you're suggesting.
You smuggle illicit psychotropes on your yacht. Not a delivery for the hospital, I'm sure.
Of course not. I've had to cut corners to earn some money. How might a person afford to pay for a yacht in an honest way? I don't know, although I'm smart. The buyers are my customers. Adults who are willing to pay for their pleasure, or weapons for jewels. Whatever they want me to deliver. Nothing criminal.
Well, it's your lucky day. I'm not here because of smuggling. Have you tasted this tea yourself?
I wouldn't have been a champion if I had used it. It's just a side business that keeps my career afloat. It's quite expensive to compete in yachting. Sometimes I cut corners.
Such as fixing whirlpool yourself?
Exactly. And sometimes I just have to pay. That's how I earn money. I don't sell slaves or take the last mangear from a poor family.
Look what I found. A box full of darts.
Hey, that's mine.
I confiscated it. These darts appear to be filled with something. Poison? How powerful is it?
It's strychnine. Enough to instantly kill a small rodent. I haven't tried it on a human. Yet. I hope you know what you're doing.
Could it immobilize a larger animal, say, an elephant?
I've never tried, but I have wondered.
It seems as though Theodore Gilden hung a sword of Damocles over your life and career. Were these only words, or something more serious?
Check my forearm. Pulled muscles and bruises. Small cuts. Nothing that you could call serious.
I doubt that a man in his late 50s could wrestle you.
It wasn't him. He behaved like a rat and hired brutes. His boys tried to lock my hands behind my back, but I was faster and I escaped.
Was he so protective of his daughter, or was it your feminine secret that provoked him?
My guess is that he was protecting his property. As he saw it, he owned Imogen, and he treated her like a piece of furniture. He didn't want his daughter to be loved by anyone. What's more painful is that Theodore didn't allow me to love his daughter. Typical.
I'm not sure that your relationship with Imogen could be described as typical.
Are you afraid of a woman in trousers? Now that's typical of men.
Between yachts, darts, and notes from bandits, I've discovered many fascinating facts about you. But this, an installment of Nabe and Laura's adventures. Why did you sully your library with this?
It's a gift from Imogen. I didn't buy it. I might have turned a couple of pages, but nothing more. I swear.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt, but your literary taste has put you on my blacklist. A charming picture. I've heard that champions do often pose with their trophies.
Cheeky. It is a lovely trophy, though. I'm sure you will agree.
What is it that you like most about her? Her naivety? Her father's money?
A somewhat difficult choice. Especially now that her father is out of the equation.
Imogen doesn't strike me as an industrious young lady, so I find it strange that she was busy packing up all her belongings when Mr. Gilden died. That's some favorable wind in your sails, isn't it?
Is it so suspicious that a couple might embark on a trip? I wanted to thank her, so we planned to go traveling. A Theodore-free place, without elephants.
The timing of it is suspicious, however. Your lady friend becomes an orphan and heir, and there's a planned trip directly afterwards.
An improvised romantic dinner will never please a spoilt girl. A planned voyage might. It's not spur of the moment.
A. Swift. Are you familiar with this name? The gentleman had business with Mr. Gilded.
Likely just another strange and wrinkled fellow like old Gilded was. Perhaps this Swift person has a rhino, and they wanted to see which pet was stronger. In other words, I don't know who he is, but I bet he's crazy like Theodore.
I doubt that Cortona has ever boasted a battle arena for that size of mammal. You have an interesting imagination.
I don't know what this means.
Does this knife seem familiar? I didn't find it in your competitor's back, to be clear.
This knife is as blunt as your humor. It's a bosun's knife, but it's not mine. I wouldn't be so careless as to mislay my tools.
What can you tell me about the elephant?
He's smarter than some people here, including his owner. Although I feel he could be dangerous, no matter how much he's fed.
Why is that? Have you ever seen Goliath attack anyone?
Well, not exactly. But I saw it, abusing some poor tree during one of its walks with Theodore. The expression on that old ninny's face was priceless. But it wasn't funny to look at. Believe me, it was frightening. Just be quick!
A foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea.
Are you lost, sir?
Not at all. I'm right where I need to be. I'm Sherlock Holmes, by the way.
Ursula Oni, the chief archivist. How can I help you exactly?
I need to take a look at the history of Cordona and its islanders to retrieve some, hopefully, useful information.
Your brother Mycroft told me that you were direct, and now that we've met, I can see that is true.
Someone in our family has to balance the evasive nature of my brother. Well, may I use the city archives?
You may, of course, but in return, perhaps dinner?
That's a high price to pay for looking at your archives.
I was teasing you. Pay no attention to me.
With your love for archives, you would have made the perfect bureaucrat.
Should it?
From day to night, I don't stand.
You're being an eyesore. No entry for you.
Help me, please.
No one listens to us, so why should I listen to you, Oofbird?
From day to night, I don't stand.
You're being an eyesore. No entry for you.
From day to night, I don't.
Oriental rugs at a
Don't.
good price.
Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good choice indeed.
Sir, kind sir, might I steal your attention?
I'm not buying.
Ah, that is the thing. You won't waste a single mangir. I am a digger, you see, and I have heard of a dig site so deep it clogs your ears. I want to be there.
Why are you telling me this?
I have heard of a man recruiting for such a dig. A man with a scar, such as the one that you're hiding. And your boots are dirty with the deep clay I am so familiar with. Oh, I hope it wasn't too rude of me to point that out.
You have a good eye. And you just want to dig? Dig deep and that's it? What's the catch? Are you in desperate need of money?
Oh, there is no catch, sir. I won't even ask for advance pay. Just give me a shovel and I'll dig a hole like you've never seen.
Huh. Is that so? Well, I have to ask you an important question first. Would you be fine working for Brits?
I am all for them.
Well, you say that, but can you prove it?
I'll sing you a very special song. God save our gracious queen.
Cut it! Or people here will make you their queen.
I can also speak in limericks.
Please don't. You might be a little bit weak in the head, but a natural-born digger with a keen eye is what we need. Take this permission slip and go to this address. The guard will let you in and check with the professor once you're there.
Stop loitering and get inside. Newcomer, talk to the professor first. He's the old fellow with the glasses and the plans.
Where's the fire in your eyes? Where's the smile? I am sick and tired of seeing apathy among the new workers.
Sir, believe me, I do have the spark. I want to start work straight away. It's as important to me as it is to you.
Ah, that's the spirit. I'm on the verge of a great discovery.
I am ready to work.
Splendid. Do you know what I am working on?
Archaeological treasure. You're hoping to find something priceless, something that will change our history.
Bravo, young man. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's true. We're looking for Vitus Lemonius's tomb.
I'll help you. That is my goal as a worker.
Good. Listen to me carefully, then. I hate repeating myself. I am Professor Swift. We have 3 rules here. Don't touch anything, always return the tools, and don't distract me unless you find something.
Sounds simple enough. Are you the only one in charge here, Mr. Swift?
Yes, I am the only one, and no one else. You hear anything other than that, it's a lie. People of your kind can have difficulty understanding who's in charge. Take a minute, memorize my face, and then get to work.
Oh, I will definitely take a closer look to memorize my superior. I wish I could be as passionate about something as you are, Mr. Swift. You value knowledge and dedication over everything else.
It's a long road, young man. A sharp eye and attention to detail are the only stepping stones along this path. You have to sacrifice everything you love for the larger prize.
Exactly. So much in life is superficial. I wish more people would understand.
I never heard a truer word, lad. Folk will ignore what truly matters in life, and for what? Convenience.
Bold words indeed. I doubt that many scientists would be willing to support their bragging with fieldwork.
The academic world is full of restrictions. Our honorable professors are too afraid to dirty their hands. God forbid if they have a stain on their shirt. You can follow in my footsteps. You can start learning by returning to work. Show me what you can find. Don't touch anything here. Get back to work.
A plan for this whole operation. This reminds me of my father's room. This might prove useful. I'll note it down. Oilcloth. Won't fade and waterproof. Enough here to make 10 sails and more. Straw dolls. Eerie, but effective for a scene recreation.
Oh, I want one of these. Or two.
Swift lost his temper when he learned what happened to the statue.
Sharpest pickaxe. The guilty pleasure of the real archaeologist. Missing your Laura, Mr. Swift?
Hey, a word about the trilogy.
Right then, you literary expert, you, what was so important about these books? Or do you simply need some kindling?
It's inspirational. I have a plan. Are you listening?
I wish I wasn't, but I am.
So, we catch a monkey, a langur, for example, then we extract some blood from it. What?
Why?
It will make us forever young, Sherry. Page 127 of the second book.
Oh, I am so done with this.
No, wait. Then how about we make a wax statue?
I've stopped listening, John. Somehow the text remains legible. Let's see if I remember my Latin. A goddess? A mother? Someone's wife? A sickle for harvesting. The ancient Romans honored the seasons. There were 4 statues here originally.
I wonder what the 3 other statues look like.
I see now. Mr. Swift didn't realize the significance of the statues. It seems everything's in place. Now, let's see what this has to tell us.
Here is your discovery, Mr. Swift. Hey, look at this. What have you found? Don't let anyone touch anything there. Eureka! I found you, my friend.
Box of darts. handy against rodents of all kinds.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Trying to take over my research, are you? I come here to pick up my diary, and I find you snooping around. Explain yourself.
Mr. Swift, if that were true, I would have been on my way to the newspaper. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I didn't have a chance to introduce myself properly.
Outrageous! You deceived me, sir. What is the reason for your being here? Who sent you, Mr. Holmes?
Theodore Gilden's premature death brought me here.
Theodore is dead? How can that be possible?
I'm thinking of all the possibilities, and I'm not crossing out anyone who might have been involved. Even his elephant. The land you're excavating belongs to Mr. Gilden, does it not?
Did I hear an accusation? I have nothing to hide. You can ask me whatever nonsense you've prepared as a token of my diminishing respect towards you.
Very well, Mr. Swift. I appreciate your cooperation. Were you at the site this morning?
Affirmative. This project is taking a lot of my time, as you see. I spend more time underground than on the surface.
When did you learn about Theodore's death?
Just now. You just told me.
And you aren't surprised, shocked? I won't tell anyone if you shed a tear or two. Weren't you partners, after all?
We were. And it is a real shame. But I've seen too many deaths in my life, Mr. Holmes, for the news to truly shake me.
When was the last time you saw Mr. Gilden?
A couple of days ago. We discussed the site. I believe in the tomb and its secrets. Theodore's patience was stretched, however. He was already inventing new projects. It wasn't a long conversation. I suppose that his daughter will inherit everything now, along with all of the eccentricities and problems.
And not forgetting Goliath.
Eccentricities and problems, Mr. Holmes. One of many. Will you allow me to return to my research, or are you insisting on remaining an obstacle?
Oh, I haven't even started yet. You have a weakness for nostalgia? Or, rather, do you use it to record a list of enemies?
Young man, you need to check your moral compass. Reading another person's diary is a sin in every culture that I can think of.
But you aren't answering the question.
You've already read it. Why bother? I simply record my life to keep my memory clean from misinterpretation. Letters and pages don't lie.
But the writer of the text can. With this book, you attempted to plan an attack on the elephant?
Your insinuations are out of place. Goliath is a frightening animal. All I wished to do was to understand the creature. As any scientist would do, I researched, analyzed, and drew conclusions.
And what conclusion did you draw?
That Theodore Gilden made the animal miserable. He couldn't provide the proper environment for the beast. My interest in the subject ended there.
What's with this box of darts? Is it for a scientific argument?
A little darker than that. Rather for killing the kind of rodents that might nibble a nose or a toe in your sleep.
Let's just say I have to protect myself against a larger animal, such as an elephant. Might it be enough to stop it, make it faint?
If I were you, I wouldn't bank on it. I'm a busy man.
As far as I can tell, you're a man of the academic world, so this book about Nabe and Laura is just an empirical study?
What? That nonsense? I'd prefer to lose my eyesight than read such trash.
So, you know nothing about it?
I know nothing. I wish I'd never heard of it in the first place, this caricature of science.
Do I hear traces of envy? You're still relatively young that you might find your own Laura.
Perhaps I envy Nabe, for I cannot simply blow people up for distracting me. That's all. You happy now? Wonderful. Moving on. Moving on.
What's with this intricate recruitment process? Pro-British workers charge less?
As a head of this organization, I need to secure a productive environment. It's impossible to do so if there are political differences, especially here, where the native population doesn't support our efforts to find the ancient artifacts.
Decent pay can also stimulate productivity and shut down any political discord. Hadn't you thought of that?
You're young. You have time to fritter and fight with everyone you meet. I don't have such a luxury. Our workers receive enough pay for what they do. So don't start a discussion you know nothing about. Moving on. Moving on.
Gilden's elephant is quite an unusual addition to Cordona's fauna. What is your scientific opinion on that?
No matter how much Theodore loved it, it still remained a wild animal trapped inside a stone pen. Goliath needs savannas, fields, lakes.
I'm sure that Goliath did not have a plan to kill his owner to head to the savannas. What do you think?
No, animals don't kill in a typical sense. I can only presume that it tried to protect itself from captivity, from Theodore. It was a gilded cage that was predestined to break.
Remember one of the rules? It seems that you didn't return a tool. Is this knife yours?
Do I look like a fellow who carries a knife? I don't need it.
There are plenty of uses for it on the site, and outside of it.
I have other people to cut ropes for me, Mr. Holmes. Moving on.
Your partner had a very specific attitude towards the things he treasured. Was this habitual for him?
That would have been too much even for him. Don't get me wrong, he had a harsh temper. Like a true businessman, he was ready to burn his competitors to the ground.
But threatening someone physically would have been something new even for him, am I correct?
Absolutely. Besides, I had never seen him this angry. The fellow who received the letter must have been extremely alarmed. I've nothing to add. I've nothing to add. I've nothing to add.
Did this plan cause a rift in your business relationship with Theodore Gilden?
Nothing like that. Admittedly, we didn't share a common vision of what is more important, the past or the future. In my opinion, we can't build a future without knowing the past.
So you wanted to save the tomb of Vitus here, or perhaps your control over the research?
Only the knowledge that rightly belongs to humankind, nothing less and nothing more. I've nothing to add.
Have you seen this person before? The one beside Imogen Gilden?
No, but he's with Imogen, so I suppose that he's a friend of hers. That girl always has her head in the clouds. I could have said Theodore was different, but that wouldn't have been entirely true.
Away with the fairies, was he?
That's one way of putting it. Either way, I don't know much about Imogen's life or her friends. The type of elite that pretends to be educated.
This fabric will work. It might fool an elephant.
Mrs. Nini seemed to know her sewing inside out. I bet she missed us.
I hope Miss Nini won't misunderstand me. Good day, madam. I've come to you with a special requirement. The tailors on the street can't help me, I'm afraid. Could you make a doll for me?
Oh, Senor Holmes. You taught the police how to do their job, and they found the thief. Of course I will help you. But what sort of doll? A child's doll, such as my great niece might play with?
A little larger than your typical doll.
Signore, I don't understand. Boy, girl, animal, and what color?
Animal, a passionate, perhaps amorous animal.
Ah, Signore, you talk in riddles. I am an old lady who's seen it all. Tell me what you need.
I need a life-size elephant.
I think Mrs. Nini outdid herself with this one. Is that a tail?
That's a trunk, John, but I must agree with you that it's her masterpiece.
Well, let's not waste any time.
The game is on.
So, what's the plan? I hope it all doesn't go horribly wrong.
We know that the elephant is seeking a female. We can arrange that. A doll with the appropriate scent might do miracles.
So you're a marriage broker? Well, I suppose that makes me a groomsman. Oh, she is a bit breezy, I must say.
Well, Goliath is eager for a single female elephant in his area. It should be just enough for his taste. You'll need to trust me.
Are we ready? I can't stand the tension.
We're ready. Let's call the elephant.
How could anyone resist? I knew a lady once who said just that. Too bad I'm not an elephant. Take your time, Sherry. That deserves a slap. And then a kiss.
And here's our lovesick friend.
What is the meaning of this? Why are you bringing it here? I won't allow you to leave.
I assure you that it is only a temporary measure. It won't be long until the elephant is gone, I promise you. It injured itself while running through the forest. The left tusk is larger and more worn. You're a left-tusked elephant. There's something in the needle. There's something in the needle. A feathered fletching. This might be promising. Peaceful and compliant, almost a gentleman.
Want to talk about the elephant in the yard? It's as if a storm went through here.
This young lady has a childish interest for her age.
I'm afraid I can't add anything useful. I don't have any thoughts on this.
Have you seen what your father sent to Paul?
This is despicable. My father was never a gentleman, but this crosses the line. I knew that father wasn't fond of Paul, but this is just awful. If only he could have seen how good Paulie is to me. I've nothing to say about this. I've nothing to say about this. I've nothing to say about this. I'm afraid I can't add anything useful. I'm afraid I can't add anything useful. I don't have any thoughts on this. I've nothing to say about this. I'm afraid I can't add anything useful. I'm afraid I can't add anything useful. I don't have any thoughts on this.
Are you aware that Paul smuggles drugs for a dangerous gang?
Mr. Holmes, I've already told you. I call him a pirate in play. He's not an actual pirate. He's a champion and a brave gentleman, not a thug.
Let us agree to disagree on that. But don't be surprised if one of his clients knocks on your door. You were right about Goliath. Everyone confirmed your opinion. They all agree that the beast is vicious. The animal wielded 2 tons of rage, and Mr. Gilded regrettably didn't stand a chance. The mating season only served to amplify its temper.
Oh, spare me. That's a little too much detail, thank you. What is the point of this conclusion? How do you plan to use your findings?
Miss Gilded, I know how much you dislike the elephant.
Rather more than dislike. I wish I could have done more to that wretch than just speak of it.
But it's innocent. Goliath did not intend to kill your father. It was provoked, scared, and in mating season. Your father took Goliath's normal state for granted, and in doing so made a mistake that caused the elephant to be aggressive.
Stop it! I already know the answer. I don't need your moral perspective on this situation. I don't know why you wasted your time. I actually did more than you.
Which involved what, Miss Gilded?
A man with a big wallet made an offer to take the elephant away. I accepted it. I was so naive, thinking that it was me who was so helpless. But you are useless too.
I am glad that the elephant is no longer of your concern, but I need to make sure.
I don't care, and I don't want to listen. Thought you wouldn't turn up.
Why is that? I suppose it's the English way to leave without saying goodbye, but I never planned to abandon you.
Because you brought the filthy beast here. Because you did nothing to ensure its proper punishment. I had to do everything, not you.
I was piecing together your father's murder.
There was nothing to piece together. I told you, it was Goliath. I never asked you to talk with anyone. I asked you to find the stupid animal.
Even if my efforts are invisible, that does not mean that I did nothing.
I don't have the strength to argue. These are my father's belongings. They're about your mother. Take them all and leave me be.
I won't waste your time any longer, Miss Gilded. Thank you for your help.